Hi, this is section 7.3, and this is solving linear equations by adding or subtracting. That's what the book title is. I'm going to write down that this is solving a system of equations by using the third method. Remember, there's three methods that we needed to learn to solve the system. The first one was graphing. We did that a few days ago. 2 days ago, we worked on substitution, or watched a video on substitution, which is the second method to solving a system. The third method is basically called a process that's called elimination. And before we do anything together, let's just quickly look. If you look on page, I'll just write it up here, page 444 is where I need you to be. Page 444. There's three steps to using this method, which is called elimination. Step one, add or subtract the equations to eliminate one variable. I'll go over what that means in a minute. Step two, solve the resulting equation for the other variable. And step three, substitute either original equation to find the value of the eliminated variable. So as you read through those, you might be, okay, what are you talking about? I think an example, walking through an example with you will make it very clear what those steps are. Again, I think I made it in 4 steps just to be very clear on everything. So let's go to page 447 and go to problem 6. And the directions are to solve the linear system using this process called elimination. Okay? Now, I actually have 4 steps because the book is I guess, less detailed. I want to make sure that there aren't any types of screw-ups or things that could mess you up along the way. So when you go to number 6, here's the first thing we have to do before we use the process called elimination. We have to make sure both equations are written in standard form. Now, remember, here's a little review of standard form. It's right here. AX plus BY equals C. Our equations need to be in this form, and as you notice, they are. AX, I guess I could say, plus negative 1y equals 30, and negative 3x plus 7y equals 6. Both of these equations are in standard form. So the second thing we need to do then is find a variable that you can eliminate by either adding or subtracting. So as you look here, do you notice how I have 3x and negative 3x? If I add, doesn't 3x plus negative 3x give me nothing? That's where the elimination comes from. If you add these equations together, the 3x and the negative 3x will eliminate. You notice how that 3x and negative 3x, if you add, that they will eliminate each other. So just add these two equations up. So if I add the equations up, you'll notice that these will eliminate. 3x minus 3x eliminates each other. Negative 1y plus 7y is 6y, and 30 plus 6 is 36. I'm just adding the equations together. I get 6y equals 36, and I can solve now for y by, of course, I can divide by 6 to solve for y on each side, and I will find that y equals 6. Okay, so right now I know my answer is some unknown x value 6. All I have to do to find the x value is exactly what we did yesterday. Let me go to the next page. I'm out of room here. So since I know y equals 6, just take 6 and plug it in either equation to find x. So I went ahead and I'm like, this equation looks like the easier of the two. I plugged in 6 for y, which gives me 3x minus 6 equals 30. I added 6 to each side. Let me turn my layer on here. I added 6 to each side. I get 3x equals 36. I can divide each side by 3, and I found out x equals 12. So my ordered pair should be 12 for x, 6 for y. All I need to do is quickly check it. Let me do that real quick. If I plug in 12 here and 6 here, I'm getting 36 minus 6, which is 30, so that works. Let's try it here. If I plug in 12 here and 6 here, I'm getting negative 36 plus 42, and that does indeed equal 6. So this is checking. This ordered pair is definitely the solution to this system. So I think that's a pretty easy process. I'm going to do one more, and I think you'll be happy. This will keep the video short. Let's go to number 20. Now remember, the first thing you need to do, the absolute first thing you need to do is make sure each equation is in standard form. If you don't do that, this will get screwed up. So I picked 20 for a reason, because you notice in 20, the first equation is not written in standard form. Remember, standard form looks like ax plus by, I guess plus or minus, it doesn't matter, equals c. Well, right now I don't have the x's first, the y second, and the constants last in the first equation, and I certainly don't have it that way in the second equation. So I have to make an adjustment here. In the first equation, what I decided to do is I decided to add the opposite, and if I add the opposite, I can reverse these, and I can put negative 3x plus 11y equals 18, which is what I did. And in the second equation, if I quickly add 16y to each side, I will get negative 3x plus 16y equals 33. Well, now I have two equations in standard form, and now I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to eliminate? Well, you notice I have the same thing here, negative 3x and negative 3x. If you have the same amount, if you subtract each side, now you got to be careful, I'm subtracting each side, you will get an elimination. So negative 3x minus negative 3x eliminates. 11y minus 16y is negative 5y. And 18 minus 33 is negative 15. So all I got to do is divide now each side by negative 5. And when I divide each side by negative 5, y equals positive 3. And then all I need to do to get x is take 3 and plug it in for y into one of our original equations. So I went ahead and I just plugged it in for y in the first equation. And that gives me negative 3x plus 33 equals 18. I took away 33 from each side. When I take away 33 from each side, I get negative 3x equals negative 15. And I can divide each side now by negative 3, and I got positive 5 for x, so I think the answer is 5, 3, and of course, I want to quickly check this when I'm done. I should check to see if 5, 3 works. Let's do that, okay? I'm going to go to my first equation, and let me just erase what I had here. Got to get the right layer. Let's try that one. There we go, okay. I think that might be better. All right, so I want to check 5, 3. If I plug in 5 here and 3 here, do I get 18? Well, I get 33 plus negative 18, negative 15, I'm sorry, 33 plus negative 15. That is 18. That works. Let's try it here. If I plug in 5 here, I get negative 15. And if I plug in 3 here, I get negative 48 plus 33. That's negative 15 also, so it checks here too. So that is the process called elimination. We must make sure we get both equations in standard form first before we try to eliminate, and then it's just simply adding or subtracting the equations to create an elimination of one of the variables, and then you can solve for that remaining variable, substitute it in to solve for the second, and check it. I hope that makes sense. If we have questions, we can go through this tomorrow. Actually, if you look in the book on page 444 and 445, they have some sample problems there that you can also look through too. Okay? So I'm going to stop this here, and questions, we can talk about those tomorrow.